Yo, what's going on with y'all, man? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. This is a different kind of video, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just gonna be personal with y'all on this right here, man. Your boy been going through a lot, you know. Been going through a lot of things in my personal life. Um, I got a little situation with my car. I'm trying to get my car smogged and shit, but it's just so much stuff going on with it that more than likely I'm gonna have to probably get a new car. But that's easier said than done because it's like I gotta get the money to buy a car, and then the monthly payments. I ain't never had monthly payments on a car. I've always been blessed and fortunate to be in a position to just get a paid off car. And on top of that, just in general life, it's just that by itself has just been stressing me out these last few months, trying to get my car registered, but knowing now I got to probably get a whole new one because it's not worth fixing. I had already spent over $1,000 on diagnostics and parts, and still like nothing. Still, it's a whole bunch of stuff they saying I gotta get done and this and that. And I'm just done. I'm just done trying to fix it. I had that car for about 5 years at this point. It still drives good though. Still drives good, but it's just the service engine light is on. So it's just like, at this point, I just spent over $1,000 on trying to fix it. I'm throwing my hands up with it and just moving on to just putting up some money, man, for a down deposit on a car and just trying to find a good car, low mileage, with decent monthly payments, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, just making more money to be able to support that. Because like I said, like I already pay rent and it's just me, I live on my own, paying my own rent, and it's over $2,000 a month. And that's the average rent in California. As a 1 bedroom, you paying over $2,000, you know what I'm saying, including utilities and everything. So, I'm just out here as a single man, just doing what I gotta do every single day. Still working, still putting food in the fridge, still paying my bills, still trying to keep myself up physically, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of stress and pressure when you're doing it by yourself. And of course, I'm not saying I don't got no family. I do, but that's just, at a certain age, your family don't really want to help you, they only want to hear your problems for real. Like they'll act like they care because they, whether it's your mom or your dad or your grandma or your auntie, they'll listen, but a lot of times they ain't got no money to help you a lot of the time. So they're not really gonna truly help you when it comes to finances. So it's like you kind of on your own. But like right now, I'm just kind of like overwhelmed, I feel like right now in my life, you know, it just feels like a lot of things haven't been going my way. But I know that words are powerful, so I don't want to put too much emphasis on that because it's a lot of things that have been going my way. But, when we focus on the negative versus the positive, you know what I'm saying? That's how we are. That's our human nature, is to worry about things that's going wrong versus the things that's going good. But me just venting right now, I ain't gonna lie, it's just something that I need to do. I just feel like I talk about a lot of stuff on my channel, and I feel like, they're great topics and they're in-depth topics, but I think I want to start talking more, personal about myself, because it's a lot of things that I keep to myself. But I feel like I'm at a point now where I don't care if I get judged. I don't care if people fuck with me, don't fuck with me. I don't really care no more. Like, I feel like most of my life I've always cared about trying to be perceived a certain kind of way by people. But I really don't even care no more. Like, I've always been myself, but after a certain point, after a certain age, you don't even care what people think no more about you because they ain't gonna pay your bills, they ain't gonna put food in the fridge for you, and they damn sure ain't gonna make sure you and your family taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So who gives a fuck about how they see you or feel about you? So I'm at that point. I'm just at a point now where it's like, my car has been my biggest stressor for the last 3 to 4 months. I've shelled out so much money into this car is crazy. The average person, and my car is an old car. I have a lot of miles on it. I've had this car since 2018. It was paid off. My pops, gave me that car, paid off, with partially his retirement money, man. And that was a blessing because before the car I got, I had a fucked up bucket car that was all fucked up. So, my luck with cars, has been, but I've had this car for like at least 5 years. So I ain't gonna lie, like I did Uber and Lyft back in the day too. So I think that kind of added a lot of miles to it and shit. But that's my bread and butter. It still worked good though. And it like it runs good. It's just a lot of miscellaneous shit with it that I just don't understand why it can't just be fixed. But a lot of times if they can get you to pay for extra shit, they'll get you to do that. That's why, like I say, going to the dealership, bro, is the last resort. And that's what I did yesterday. I went to the dealership, man, after going to all these auto shops, man, doing all these diagnostics and paying for certain parts, hoping that this would fix it and this would fix it, and just still to be left with the service engine light still being on, and then going to the dealership, and now it's so funny. They come out with all these crazy astronomical numbers of how much it's going to cost to do this and do that. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm done. Y'all asking for $3,000+ to do what? Nah, I'm cool, bro. I'm just going to try to figure out if I can get like a little car waiver or something like that to just give me a year or two, to get my registration, and then look for a new car, bro. Just put some money aside and just get a new whip. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a minute though, and I need to do my research on how I'm gonna go about it. I'm new to this kind of stuff when it comes to like buying cars, how to make sure you get in the right situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a contract. Monthly payments, or if I get lucky, be able to pay something off. I don't know, but like I said, that's been my biggest stressor right now. Just trying to figure that out. Work is cool. Rent paid, food in the fridge. So I ain't fucked up, by the grace of God, but again, you gotta, I like to have all my I's dotted and my T's crossed. That's how I've always been in my life. I'll get up early in the morning to take care of things that I know may take all day because I want to be ahead of the game. And I feel like when I feel like I'm hopeless with something, I feel so down and depressed because I really have tried everything I could do. So I know I got to put it in God's hands. I mean, I should have already put it in his hand from the start. But, as a human, you just want to do everything in your humanly possible power to fix a situation. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just putting it in God's hands, But besides that, I don't know. Like life right now for me feels like I feel like I'm going through this like awakening of just not giving a fuck. Like I was just mentioning prior, just me not caring. Like I've reached this point in my life where I'm at an awakening point where I realize I care too much. I really do care too much. And I think that's why I'm always getting hurt in situations with people, with females, with family. I care too much, man. I really do feel like I got like a big heart, and I really do try to do good by people, man. But from my experience, man, I've never really had that in reciprocal, from people. And over time, it just makes you feel like, what's the point? Let me just do me, be selfish. I'm not saying be a bad person or treat people bad, but I don't care. Like, I don't care to go over and beyond for nobody right now in my life. I feel like I've stretched myself thin with so much, and I'm at like a breaking point, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just want to be free, and I just want to live my life on my terms completely and take the risks that I feel like I need to take without feeling like this person may not agree with it, or this person may not agree with it, or they may judge me on if I do this or that. Like, there's so many things I'm so good at doing, but I've never had the confidence to truly step out and claim I'm going to do this. Like, I'm good at cutting hair. Like, that's a secret skill that I have. Like, I cut my own hair. I cut my brother's hair, bro. Like, I got bars. Like, I'm not even trying to gas myself up. Like, I could go to barber school right now and get my license if I wanted to. I think I'm decent with the clippers. But because it's like a skill that in my family isn't seen as a glorified kind of job or trade, I just do it on the side. But I be feeling like, man, I might as well I could take the leap with that, and then on top of that, I can go to college. I got a degree, a psychology degree. I could further that, go back to school. But it's just for most of my life, I've cared too much about what my mama would think or what my grandmama would think, because they're the main women in my life that I have as family. I don't really have a huge family, so their opinions echo louder than anything because that's all I really get advice from. I don't really have males in my family that I respect that I would call and talk to about certain things. My father, passed away when I was like 21, so I don't have him in my life, or my brother don't have him in our lives. So I had to step up and kind of play that father figure role with my brother a little bit. At the same time, me still growing into a man. So it's been tough. It's been tough, man. And just trying to figure everything out all at once has been a hard battle for me, man. But I'm gonna keep making these videos. I'm just really trying to dive deeper into myself and using these as diaries. Because I feel like a lot of men and women don't have a lot of places to push their emotions out, and I just don't want to lose my mind and go insane because I'm just holding everything in. So I'm gonna hang in there, but it's a lot, man. It's a lot going on. There's a lot of other things that I really don't want to talk about right now that's going on too. Probably will in future videos, but just right at the current moment, man, it's just been a lot going on with your boy, man. And I know it's not just me. I know there's a lot of people out there going through the same exact shit I'm going through or worse. So I don't really I don't hold my head down and feel like, oh, my life's bad or it's terrible. It's just at the current moment, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, I'm a soldier, man. I really have gone through a lot of stuff in my life, and I've been able to get through it. And I know this ain't no different. So I'm gonna hang in there. But I just wanted to just kind of just vent real quick, get it out. This is kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone doing these kind of videos anyway. And like I say, I really don't give a fuck who judges me, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, at this point, man, shit, it is what it is, But on that note, man, shit, man, if you going through something similar to me, trust, I'm going through some shit myself, my boy, or my female. You gotta stay strong, because if you break, everything falls apart. If you break, everything falls apart. So you gotta stay strong, you gotta stay prayed up, and you gotta speak positive. That's why I really don't even want to make a video too in depth on the things I got going on that's negative, because that's giving it too much energy, So on that note, like I say, man, I'm just gonna keep my head up and keep pushing, man. But your boy's been going through a little bit of a hardship, but end of the day, like I say, there's somebody out there going through way worse. But on that note, man, I'm gone, man.